Hello everyone and welcome to our post-game press conference. So a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Please be sure to silence or turn off all your phones and devices. If you have a question, please raise your hand, wait for the microphone and state your name and affiliation. I'm joined this evening by head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, Joanne P. McCauley, and student athletes Lexi Brown and Odara Cheatham. We'll start with an opening statement from coach before taking questions for the student athletes.
Obviously a tough game, very physical game, an excellent game. I thought we fought very hard as a team. I think it's important to compliment Oregon for how they played, and they had more players step up and play across the board. They had better balance with 20 assists, and they played more of a full 40. I didn't particularly appreciate our first half. I thought we rushed and didn't do the things we needed, but I really appreciated our second half and our fight by our team. We're very grateful to Odara and Kendall as seniors for their fight and the way they really stepped up in the second half when we needed it. Obviously, from Lexi's point of view, I thought Lexi played extremely hard, had a very strong game, and attacked and did many, many things out there that needed to be done, and sometimes needed to be done by two people, not just one. Again, to Oregon, I congratulate them. They're a terrific team. They're kind of playing against all odds when you think about their ages. But their productivity certainly doesn't reflect that. We'll learn from this. You know, we had an opportunity. We didn't take full advantage of it. It hurts. And we'll just try to learn from here.
We'll take questions for the student athletes.
Tom Wilburn, WBOT in Sanford. Obviously the question, Lexi is having to assume so much of the ball handling responsibilities. How did that change your game?
I don't really think it changed it at all. I usually handle the ball a lot. The only thing that changed is we just had much fewer options on the outside. You know, our outside shooting. Kyra was a huge part of that, just being a threat on the outside. I personally wasn't really bothered by having to handle the ball that much. But we just had to make things happen on offense, and our offense, we just weren't making shots. We were getting any shot we wanted, some of them just weren't going down.
Question for Lexi and Odara. How difficult was, especially when Oregon got the lead, was it to defensively play against their style, which was so perimeter oriented, and given that you were minus really top perimeter defender, was the sensation kind of feeling like you're kind of going uphill the whole game?
I wouldn't say uphill. I mean, Oregon's a great team. They're one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the country. We knew that coming in. But like you said, Kyra was one of our best perimeter defenders. So, I mean, you just got to factor that into our defense. I thought we held them in check at times, and then at times we just kind of had breakdowns defensively, and that's all.
Oregon's a great team. They made a lot of great shots. I thought our defense, we were there when we needed to be. They just hit a lot of tough shots.
Any further questions for the student athletes?
All right, thank you, Beth.
Take questions for coach.
Joanne, you mentioned it earlier, the way Oregon attacked your defense. They had a lot of assists on their field goals tonight. Was that the main thing? They just passed the ball so well?
Well, I think you see three different people with 6'5" and 6 assists. Those guards deserve a lot of credit. They worked the ball well, the three of them together, and created. There were stops, obviously, that we didn't make, whether they could penetrate and kick or passes around the perimeter. So I did think that it was a clean game in a lot of ways, not too many turnovers overall. But they were playmaking well, and they had more playmaking than we had. Lexi had 6 assists. That was fantastic, but it was a big drop from there. And you have to give them credit for that. I mean, they're a very good team, and they're not an exceptionally deep team, but they do a lot with their first, 6 or 7, and we We just didn't rotate as quickly or do some of the things that we need to do.
Joanne, offensively, it seemed like in the second half, your team really did what it does best in terms of getting the ball inside, post-to-post ball movement,
Yes.
and you really had, that really kind of spurred the comeback. What happened in the first half that wasn't happening? Was it a matter of shot selection, falling too much in love with the jump shot? Did you make an adjustment in the second half to emphasize your post game? What happened in the first half?
Well, it's kind of interesting you point that out. I mean, the shooting 30%, 31% in the first 2 quarters was abysmal, as you realize. We shot 54% in the third. I made no technical adjustment, 0. I just told them, could we slow down? Are we done with all that? We just rushed. It was just too much in the first half. Just, I don't know how to say it, just too much rushing, too much, shooting not with good balance. There was just some key things, and that can get contagious. The only thing I talked about at halftime was poise and slowing down. Could we stop with all that? We just be who we are and do what we do. And I think that was, some kind of overcompensation that I didn't want to see and didn't want to understand. Trying to overcompensate for something. And instead we just played third quarter, excellent basketball, as you saw. Fourth quarter, 43% wasn't great, but we were unfortunately a second half team all year, and we continue to be a second half team in this game, but that's not enough. These are some good teams. These are all really good teams. So you need to be a full 40-minute team, and that's just not, and we won some of the categories, points in the paint, and other things, but it's got to be a full 40. I would tell you we played about 20 minutes of this game.
I can just get the sense the first half was just about rushing, because there are just moments where it's like, it felt like Oregon had a much bigger lead than they had, but the players were just not slowing it down, getting the right shots inside and whatnot.
Yeah.
On the subject of rushing shots and stuff like that, Becca had a really poor game tonight shooting wise. She usually doesn't do that. Was that what you saw her doing out there, rushing her shots, or what do you think led to that?
Well, no, Becca gets a lot of attention, as you know, and I don't think at all it's a matter of rushing shots. She has to slow down. I mean, she has to slow down her body. Do you know what I mean? She just plays so hard. You saw her rebounds and how hard she plays. Just learning to slow down and almost walk out there a little bit and get that change of speed versus that constant attempt. She's trying to get open and do what she can for her team. So I think, that's hard to do when there's a lot of people defending you. And but that's what she was trying. That's what she was trying to do. But everybody just needed to slow down. First half was just too much. That's not. Offense has a certain cadence to it, a certain pace, and we did not have that in the first half.
Tom Welburn, WBFT. Joanne, we all waited to see who was going to fill out the starting lineup. You went through the decision with Erin. What was the thought process there?
Erin's one of our best defensive post players, her length, and so she's been doing some good things, some different things for us, and one of those things has been playing different parts, different places for us. So we felt fine about that, and defensively, we were thinking defensively more than offensively in that regard.
Emily Duke Chronicle. Can you just talk a little bit about Kendall's game tonight with 9 points and a couple assists and steals and blocks, and just how that was instrumental in being able to even get to the point of coming back at all?
Yeah, it was huge. Kendall, as a senior, played a great second half and was very strong. Almost getting a double-double there, getting steals, moving defensively. Her second half was just so much of how she plays, and it was so much of what we needed. And again, I'm just really proud of her. She's a fighter. She's always been a fighter. She's had a bumpy road at times, and then she just keeps fighting back. I think that was a similar situation tonight. First half, kind of bumpy, and then second half, totally there for her team, battling, rebounding, scoring, and defending. It was great to see, it was great to see that.
Dre, can you take stock of this season, the things that you've achieved, the way in which the program has bounced back, and what you're kind of hoping for to see next season in terms of improvements for players and new players coming in?
Gosh, that's a lot right now.
I understand.
We're trying to, digest this, but I will say, obviously, I'm very proud of this team. This team has been really fun to coach, really fun to coach. And, I mean, I thought we did a lot of great things this year. I have to think about it, look at it. Defensively, it was great to be a dominant defensive team in the ACC because the ACC is so strong. Had some great times where we rose as a team and had to fight back. And I just love that, the lessons learned here for these kids. I mean, adversity and events outside of your control, things that happen in life that seem very unfair or wrong or whatever you want to say, but yet they found a way to come together uniquely. And I think, from a standpoint of the team coming together, it's hard to believe Lexi's only played with us 1 year when you think about what she does. I mean, we can't take those kind of things for granted, the way she assimilated so quickly. Becca's game and how she improved off the bounce, her rebounding. I mean, I could go right through the list. Kyra, Kyra was, take on artist, but then more of a shooter, so she stepped up, one of our best defenders. Crystal off the bench today, I can't say enough about what she did. She's been injured, she's got a sore leg, it's a problem, but yet she's found a way to really help her team. The seniors finding their way along, Erin's improvement from last year to this year. Ducky, it wasn't a great game for her, I guess, tonight, but Ducky's just always a threat. And so all of them, Faith as well. I mean, Lene was really coming on strong, and then she had that situation with her knee. They just all kept coming, and kept rising, keep going, and they kept finding ways. And I guess that's the thing I'll take from the season, and enjoy. And I guess that occurs at a banquet. Right now we're hurting. We feel we could have won this game. I mean, we can't really talk about that. It's not really appropriate now, but it's tough to take. And our crowd is, people that have come and supported us, and we've done so well at Cameron, and it's been a special place to play. So there's just a lot of things, and there's a whole lot of lessons, that will apply to next season relative to these experiences, a whole lot.
Any further questions for Coach?